Greetings, friends. Welcome to this edition of Stories of Cat Catastrophes, where I scour the internet and my own personal experience to bring you tales of feline folly. All of this in an effort to promote my upcoming picture book, Sometimes Kitties, a book designed to delight the young and never get old. For information as to exactly when the Kickstarter will launch, please join my mailing list. Perhaps a link below. Today's first story is from a young lady named Zenobia. My daughter still lived at home when my partner moved in with us, bringing his cat, Tiger, to join our family of 2 teens, 2 cats, and 2 dogs. Gracious. It did not take Tiger long to establish total control of our menagerie. He put the 2 dogs in their place and let the other 2 cats know that he was now in charge, and the house was under new management. Anyone who didn't like it was free to leave or face Tiger's wrath. During this time, my daughter had a very bad habit of coming in the front door and dumping her shoes and backpack in the middle of the living room floor. I tried to get her to stop, but nothing worked. Tiger wasn't too happy about it either. One day, she did the usual drop, and we had our 1,000th fight about it. The next morning, as she was getting ready to leave for school, the air became blue with her cursing and yelling. Lo and behold, Tiger had worked open the zipper to her backpack, conveniently went in and peed on everything in it, including her math assignment due that day. Everything was soaked, and yet he still had enough urine left to deposit inside of both of her shoes. Why? Backpack and shoes left in the middle of the floor was solved that day. Yes, it was totally an a-hole move, and he got extra treats and cuddles from me that day. Henceforth, he was King Tiger, and he decided how things were going to be in his house. It had to be King Tiger, couldn't be Tiger King for reasons. This next story is from somebody named Just B, the letter B. Alright. My silly giant 15-pound red boy Simba decided to squeeze himself through the slats on my second-story deck and jump off, despite never having been outside a day in his entire life. My husband and I were going away early the next morning for a week of our first vacation since our 8-month-old son was born. I opened the kitchen door, which leads out to the deck, and he darted under my legs and jumped straight away. Shortly thereafter, it started pouring, and the thunder and lightning rolled in. I knew I couldn't leave the cat outside alone for a week, so my husband and I took turns over the next 8 hours searching the neighborhood for him, while still attempting to pack. Resigned to the fact that our long-anticipated vacation likely had gone up in smoke. Around midnight, both of us completely defeated, my husband went to the kitchen and saw through the window a pair of yellow, glowing eyes peering out from the bushes in our backyard. He yelled to me, and we went out with a can of tuna, the Chowhound's ultimate fave. Out crept a bone-dry, hungry Simba. We believe the dope had never even left the yard because he didn't know what the heck to do with his freedom, so we were all mad at him. Only consolation was that we were able to go on our trip after all. So, when my wife and I first got together, she had this cat which became our cat. Her name was Lydia. Lydia was an inside cat, except she always wanted to get outside. And so, she got to the point where she would, hang out by the door at regular intervals and try to dart out. And we got really good at playing, cat goalie. Boom, yeah, right? So, one time she straight up got out. I was too tired. I opened the door. She zipped right out, and I freaked out because she peeled out of the house. And I turned around. She made it 10 feet before she got all the way down and realized, oh, I did not think this through. And I just opened the door and stood there and looked at her, and she very quietly did that cat creep where the back is still, down real low. She just creeped back into the house, went to the other end of the living room. I shut the door behind her and give her eyeball this cat a little bit, and she just starts grooming herself like nothing ever happened. She did that like 7 times while we were in that apartment. Every single time. No idea what to do as soon as she got outside. She never got out from underneath the roof. Just dumb animal. This next one is from Jennifer, and it's the one that I've been illustrating, so strap in, I hope you enjoy. Jennifer writes, I am proudly owned by an a-hole of a cat. My master's name is Neelix. I detect a Star Trek Voyager fan. The worst of all possible Star Treks. Yes, I will die on this hill. Neelix cannot stand for anything except him to be on any surface of his home. I have these wooden TV trays that I keep my laptop on and use to eat in front of the TV and such. If I'm not actively eating and defending my meal, Neelix will jump onto them, look at me with disapproval, and then slowly, deliberately, push each thing off onto the floor. Things I've left on the TV trays include a TV remote, the Roku remote, my pens, a book I was reading, my iPad, and a cup of hot tea. Neelix does not approve of my working from home. In fact, Neelix does not approve of my doing anything at home except catering to him. Case in point, when I get home from school, I usually have several hours of work to do. Neelix will only put up for this for so long before he decides to refocus my attention where it belongs, on him. He will do this by laying across the laptop keyboard, putting his butt in my face while staring at the laptop screen, attacking my feet and ankles, and if none of that works, just biting me. Neelix does not approve of my sleep schedule. When I go to bed is prime playtime according to Neelix. I have resorted to locking him out of the room because his nighttime hijinks, which include attacking my CPAP mask, crawling under the covers to bite my feet, knocking my phone off the nightstand, biting my boob should it chance to become uncovered, that is beyond the pale, unacceptable. Climbing onto the headboard and leaping off of it to land somewhere in the vicinity of my lungs, and turning off my alarm. Why do we keep these animals? Why do we do that? Neelix does not approve of my dietary choices. He simply cannot understand why I insist upon applying heat to perfectly good raw food that I pull out of the big cold box. He is so concerned about this that he will often jump onto the counters while I'm preparing food, jump onto the stovetop while hot food is simmering, and will occasionally steal anything he can grab before I can defend it. I have chased him around the house to retrieve a raw chicken breast on more than one occasion. He has not yet burned himself on my stove, but I suspect it is only a matter of time. Neelix does not approve of my Keurig. He does not understand it, but is convinced that it is going to harm either me or him. I cannot use it without his constant and very close supervision. I can only surmise that every 6th cup is poisoned by the regularity with which his swishing tail knocks them over, despite my repeated attempts to take him down off the counter. Neelix does not appreciate my need for privacy in the restroom. I have stopped closing the door in an attempt to keep him out, as that was detrimental to the carpet in the hallway. He does not like toilet paper and will destroy any of the vile substance that is left out. Despite having running water from the water fountain I bought him, he insists that whenever I go to the restroom, I turn on the faucet for him to drink. He is also very concerned about the flushing of the toilet and watches to make sure that it all goes down. This is kind of embarrassing, but he also tries to grab the toilet paper whenever I am using it for its intended purpose, which has occasionally caused me no small amount of pain in unpleasant areas. Get a new cat. That means new cat. That means new cat. Oh my. If claws meet undercarriage on purpose, we're done. I love you, but we're done. That's just, oh my. Neelix does not appreciate my attempts to improve his behavior. I spoke with the vet about his biting. He doesn't bite hard very often, but more than he should. The vet explained it's probably because he was taken from his mother too early. He was found alone and we couldn't find his mother or his litter mates. She has given me several helpful suggestions for deterring his behavior. Spraying him with water, shaking a can of pennies, clapping or spritzing him with canned air. All of these things worked for about a day, and then he simply started attacking them. He is the bravest cat I have ever known. Nothing intimidates him for long. He also rightfully realizes that he is the true master of his home, and his behavior is not for me to correct. Finally, Neelix does not approve of me walking anywhere in the home by myself. He is convinced that I will either not arrive where I'm going safely, or that I might be headed off to do something for myself, and not for him. He herds me, much like a sheepdog on a farm, moving in and out of my feet and quite nearly causing me to trip or step on him. The few times I have stepped on him were taken as an affront by Neelix, and he absolutely refuses to accept any portion of the blame. Yeah, that's a cat that's trying to kill you. That's just, I'm trying to trip you so that you fall and die. I am convinced that's why cats do it. Convinced. Either that or they just think it's so funny when you trip and fall on your face, which, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Please scroll down and join my mailing list to know when I kickstart my next picture book, Sometimes Kitties. If you like the original art from today's episode, it'll be for sale on my website at coffeeandhate.biz. In the meantime, give your fluffy one some scritches for me, and I'll see you in the next one. And this is my kitty cat, Puddles. He is one of 3, and he is a little furry wrecking ball. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? He's the only cat I know of who can stand to be held like a baby. Go play.